you said, they're demonstrative and passionate, nothing more, nothing less. I think that when we're talking about the demasculinization of men, I do see it, right? But I have to say this. If I'm looking at black men in mass and what they're trying, I don't think the tactics have changed, but I think that the quiet majority of us don't subscribe to this shit. Because when I'm in the earth, I'm walking around, men are still upright, huh?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It seems like when we talk about showbiz and music, that shit has always been there. It's not going anywhere. Because most of those men were effeminate to get through the door, right? But I will say, if I'm like, I see what they're trying to do, but then when I compare it to what I actually see outside, it doesn't quite match 1-to-1. Am I making sense?
Yes, you're making sense.
That's not to demean that household. White supremacy is saying, I'm taking away the conditions for enhancing black masculinity. I'm taking away the conditions through which you might produce soldiers to carry on activity on your side of the chessboard. In addition, since I have your situation so strung out and you watch more television than anybody else, I'm going to serve up to you men dressed as women. And I'm going to have you sit there in your frustration. Women and male children.
If you want to take over a planet, okay, if you want to completely take over a planet, the first thing that you have to do is you have to take out the alpha males or the strong males from the planet, because the strong alpha males protect the divine feminine. Through television and films, how they are feminizing men more and more and more. You'll see men dressed up in female clothes. The Cain is a phallus or male energy. The two.
So she kind of mentioning a psyop, but also, are we seeing it working? Our leadership is constantly questioned, right? Sassy. Well, we be saying effeminate a lot. Freezy, the brothers be saying, call a nigga effeminate in a heartbeat. But, you get called sassy real quick. All of a sudden, almost 30% of us is homosexual, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Is this psyop working? Did they plan work? Did they move us out of leadership? Are men today more effeminate than ever? Or is that bullshit and propaganda? Go ahead, Ella, what you think?
I don't think it's a tough one because I think than ever, probably, but it's not necessarily because they're gay. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's more effeminate in reaction, effeminate in approach, effeminate in lifestyle, effeminate in being so obsessed with your looks, effeminate in dress. You know what I mean? Just more acquiescent to a woman. In that case, absolutely. I can't say it's just strictly just because a bunch of them are gay. I think they have gay influences. I think they're being influenced by, I don't know what word to say these days, but I don't know what they're influenced by people of, other sexual orientations. Yeah. I think they're influencing a lot of the fashion. I think they're influenced, and I think they always was. I think this generation of young men are more open to suggestion from other sexual communities more so than men of our past. Like that whole weird way of dressing, that was always trying to be pushed into our community hip hop. We just was like, nah, that's weird. Like that was that golf, all that weird S&M look. We never was into that. But this generation is like, like they're just open. You know what I'm saying? So they're open to any influence, any type of, and a lot of those influences come from people of different sexual orientations. A lot of times, which they've always been there. Just that this generation is more open to the suggestion than ever.
So you can see it looks more prevalent. You think so? Yeah, because they're more open to it. So it's definitely more
in person, and they're straight. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're just open to woman's suggestion more than masculine suggestion. It's like like you only doing it because a girl think it's cool. Like that's the only way a man could do that, because a girl can be like, oh, he's fine. Like they still want a woman's approval. So it still comes back to the man and woman dynamic, because they're doing it for the approval of the women. They just want to do anything to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, son. And look, yo, Mr. Fantastic, no, right? When what you just said, right? That shit scuffed my Tim, son. I hate the fact that niggas would do anything for the approval of women. That shit is crazy. Like, maybe I don't know if it's crazy. It just sounds crazy to me when I hear it said out loud. Now, one thing Illa said, and I agree, it's more prominent now. But Freezy, they put men in dresses that's our age. Maybe more so, maybe a little bit older. Maybe your age, Hank age, maybe Mr. Let Go age. Because Martin and them niggas is your age. Tyler Perry is your age. And them niggas was running around in dresses. Because remember, that's a part of the psyop too. Effeminizing the men, making this shit look normalized and okay.
I think that money is really at the forefront of a lot of these issues. Women want money, men want money to, money is at the root of, people's validation. We live in a capitalistic society. And I think a real man adheres to a strict way of living. What I'm seeing nowadays a lot of times is that, a lot of men go off of feelings of how they feel, which is, to me, is a feminine trait. And they could be swayed, to and fro, just like the wind, just off of their emotions and feelings. I don't think a real man is influenced by his feelings or emotions. He's, he sticks to a strict set of rules that, that he honors. And I just don't, as far as honor too, there's not a lot of honor too. People, men nowadays don't really care about honor anymore. It's more about come up in the way they look, and impressing. And the reason why men do that, as far as like adhering to what women want them to do or whatever. Yeah. We care too much about impressing people too much, man. To me, that's childish. That's a childish frame of mind. Impressing people all the time.
One thing, right, Strata? Because just something Freezy said. So Illa, Freezy, and Mr. Fantastic, let's say, they can get very demonstrative when they get passionate about something, right? Talk loud, talk with their hands, right? But I see it as them being demonstrative and passionate, However, in this landscape, what's the first thing they say? Oh, you emotional. Oh, a nigga sad, right? Have we let that shit go on for too long? Have we been misplacing what that passion is? Like, you see, it's been mischaracterized, What does that make a man because he's demonstrative and passionate? Did that make him some type of, you see what I mean? They try to make a correlation.
I think that it's the misunderstanding of the normal black man. To your point, what it makes them is exactly what you said. They're demonstrative and passionate, nothing more, nothing less. I think that when we're talking about the demasculinization of men, I do see it, right? But I have to say this. If I'm looking at black men in mass and what they're trying, I don't think the tactics have changed, but I think that the quiet majority of us don't subscribe to this shit. Because when I'm in the earth and I'm walking around, men are still upright, Hamp.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It seems like when we talk about showbiz and music, that shit has always been there. It's not going anywhere because most of those men were effeminate to get through the door, right? But I will say, if I'm like, I see what they're trying to do, but then when I compare it to what I actually see outside, it doesn't quite match 1-to-1. Am I making sense?
Yes, you're making sense. The only thing I say, and it's not even a retort or anything, is just that they are more popular than the men walking around day to day, keeping the world alive,
That part.
So I guess the propaganda, seems to be overrunning the everyday brother.
Facts.
Coupled with all of us got to make 100,000 to get access to a woman all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, talk your shit.
Yeah, I think that's the part that we're going to have to reconcile with, is that the life of the average upright black man can't be sensationalized because it's a life of consistency, right? And most of these fellas, they're upright, but they're real silent. Those that know them value them, right? First number in their contacts. But to the world, they don't know quite how to monetize the upright black man yet. Because it wouldn't make sense to the propaganda that's led to here.
Damn, that's good. That's good.
Word up.
Did you want to add to that, Illa? I gotta.
Nah, that was heavy, like, because it's true. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can't monetize it. You know what I'm saying? Because in that, if they allow that, it will expose their true intention, which is to not have you have that. Because if they allow you, if that man is promoted, that man will become the man. Because he's always been that. Because even in our lowest state, the most influent outside of outside of course, finances, unfortunately, we don't have all the wealth. But as far as the definition of what a man looks, feel, sound like, confirms that this is official, that's the black man for the planet in our lower state. So they know if they're promoting that type of man, that type of stalwart brother, that'll just undermine this whole thing, because you're dealing with somebody who's it's an inferiority complex you're dealing with. You're dealing with a system that has been able to finance their insecurities. They have industrialized and corporatized their insecurities. You're dealing with a whole different type of monster. So you're really dealing with some insecure shit. It's penis envy. It's a lot of pause, but it's a lot of sexual jealousy. It's a lot of weird shit going on when it comes to dealing with other races of people and men when it comes to the black man. You are very virile and you represent a certain energy that's naturally attracted to people when you're broke. So if they empower that, what you think, like that's like a powder keg. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely understand. Now, there's these retorts that come as soon as you say that, like, white men ain't scared of no niggas.
I never used the word fear. I didn't say they scared like scared.
No, I was about to go down the whole game. It's all the words that come out. But go ahead. Talk it. You want to?
They're not scared. That's what I'm saying. Like when you think like them, then yeah, they're not scared to go to war. yeah, they're not scared to kill you. No, we got that.
Yeah,
they're scared to deal with you when those options are alleviated. When it's just my energy, how I resonate, how I communicate, how I resonate with people versus your ability to communicate. They're gonna lose every time. So it has to go to that. So yeah, you're gonna kill us. We get it. You're the military complex. Yeah, we get it. But we still influence your children. You have to create systems to make our children do stuff. We just pop up. He's cool. I want to be like him. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Everybody want to be like Mike, right? Yeah, we're just born. Okay.
And I got love for brother. I got a good brother, people I work with. I don't have no problem with white folks. I'm talking about just historically, overall, on the bigger picture. Not just some brother white dudes that's cool, they know how to handle themselves and all that. I'm just saying overall, like the conflict.
Yeah, you understand. Yeah, no, it was clear. Mr. Let Go and Mr. Fantastic. There's one thing, right? We talk about how, do y'all agree that the young boys are more accepting of these things that would be considered effeminate first?
Yeah. And there's a reason why though, because social media has taken control of how young people think, and back just like what Strada said, when he goes out in the world, I think that's what you said, he doesn't see that, right? So it was a huge dichotomy between social media or men on social media and men out in the world. And that's the biggest issue. So young people, they're more socially awkward and they're not accepted due to the fact that they are more effeminate. They don't feel safe outside. They can't fight. They've never been in a fight. So being outside, they didn't go outside and play when they were kids. We went outside and played. We went outside and fought. We went outside and played games. We went outside and did all kinds of shit. Like when we went outside, we couldn't even go back inside. We literally had to search for water, literally from somebody's water hose. We'll go on the side of somebody's house and then turn on the water hose and drink water because we literally could not go in the house if we got thirsty because we had to stay in the house. So we were forced to be outside. This new generation don't never go outside because their mothers are thinking like, oh my God, if my kid goes outside by themselves, somebody's going to snatch them or something. So didn't nobody snatch us because we was always around each other. It'd be like 3-4 boys or, the girls be with each other. So now, since nobody's really able to make friends, when a kid did go outside, they're literally by themselves. So they looking around like, okay, I'm outside. What do I do? There's no kickball. There's no hide and go seek. They don't know what to do when they go outside. So they go right back in the house. So they grow up being in the house and looking at people on social media. And the people on social media are the effeminate, socially awkward people that literally talk shit about the rest of the world because they're scared of the rest of the world. So they shit on the masculinity. That's where the toxic masculinity came from, because socially awkward people is like this. If you don't like something, you're going to demonize it. So the people on social media demonize everything that's outside to make outside not something somebody wants to see.
Mr. Fantastic?
Yeah, social media is
small contingent of it. I mean, this is literally being taught in schools. We're having to fight schools about, what is a woman, what is a man, right? So I think social media is not even secondary to the influence that these kids get from the sexuality being a spectrum. None of these things came through social media. These came through direct political and propaganda through the educational system and through society, right? So when we look at that and we understand that, we could remember you can still say nigga all day. You better not say the F-bomb though. We all used to use that wonderful 6-letter F word. We used to love it, and nobody had a problem with it. But we've allowed that group of people, to gain so much power and influence, as where if you say that, you get canceled, right? So I think the social media aspect of it is there. I'm not saying it's not. You got boys doing TikTok dances and doing all these things to be trendy, right? But it's much deeper than the social media aspect, bro. This is woven in the fabric of Western culture, to where feminism happened, and the fathers being removed from the homes on all sides. We suffered the most, but the respect for the man and the father being removed from Western society, to where toxic masculinity, I think somebody brought it up earlier, that's one of the biggest influences.
So, Hank, right? In terms of the fathers being removed, the boys are being effeminized. It seems like we all agree. Also, I think scientifically, I saw this. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Testosterone is lower than ever in men and boys.
Yes.
Hank, is it still a good enough reason to say that the fathers were removed if the 80s were 40 years ago? Like, the fathers, these kids are, so Gen Z is what, 15 through 26, something like that? Right? I'm 39, so those my kid, right? Like, at what point is that bullshit if all the boys are being effeminized and we don't got no more soldiers?
Look, man, I'm gonna say
Or
this.
is it? Or if I'm bugging, I'm bugging. Go ahead.
Now I'm gonna say this, man. I think it's the parents' fault. I don't give a shit what your child see on social media. You need to reinforce it. You need to pour into something different. If my son or my daughter's out there seeing something and I find out that they're watching it, I'm going to be the first to say, no, this shit ain't real. Don't believe it. And I'm gonna pour in what till I know. People need to be more involved with their kids in the school. We're allowing this shit to happen. Man, there's no way. There's a certain time period. There's no way you would see a boy out here wearing a goddamn dress. He will get shamed, talked about, and all that shit. Look, I go way back to the days of Flip Wilson. I don't know if some of y'all may not remember, but remember he used to do Geraldine on the TV show. That's how far I go back with it. Now, of course, during the Richard Pryor days, he cross-dressed and all that. That shit's sickening to me, Ham. But us as fathers got to make sure we stay on top of that. We have to. We know a lot of these black women are accepting to that homosexual lifestyle. They got them in their friend circle. They okay with it. If the father says something about his son being a punk, they gonna be the first one to sit there and say, "No, leave little Johnny alone." Bullshit. Put foot to ass on little Johnny. What the fuck does he want to wear a mascara for? Why does he want to be okay with trying on dresses? Why is he talking about at Halloween? I want to be dressed as the princess instead of being dressed as a Daredevil or Captain America or some shit like that. He wants to be Wonder Woman. I'll be goddamn. That's some crazy shit, Amp.
It's crazy. Where did the fathers fall, though? You know what I mean?
Yeah, the father's been gone, like you said, for like 30, 40 years. So the fatherless household stuff, we didn't have fathers. My dad is still alive, but he wasn't around. So, like, none of the people I grew up with had fathers except one of my friends. And I'm not saying we grew up okay, because some of them dead, some of them in jail, some on crack, So I'm not saying that everybody I grew up with is good, but nobody grew up in this effeminate shit. You feel me? So there's something to be understood with the no fathers. Is it because this effeminate stuff seems to be something that is fairly new? So it's not the no father thing. I think it's more of social media and the algorithm pushing something towards us, and we're starting to see it more and more. And then we see more and more people being okay with it. And then now we're just like, oh, okay, well, this is okay. I'm going to do it. Certain things have to be known. Like, there used to be like man code when I grew up. There's no man code no more. So young boys or men, they just do stuff and there's no man code.
Yeah, but Mr. Lecko, if as a man, we see certain things in your son or your nephews or your little cousins or whatever the case may be, it should have been addressed on site. Why do we let that shit slide? Oh, well, he's young. He's nothing wrong with him playing with dolls. He's just a kid. Bullshit. Why wasn't it addressed then? No, you don't need to be playing with your sister's dolls. Go get them Lincoln Logs, them Legos, and them Tonka toys. Go play with your little men or something. Why is he so enamored about getting this? I understand social media, and I agree with that part. But when we see it, it needs to be addressed. Father in the home or not. Whenever my kids will come to me, and when I see certain questionable things, you need to address it. Then you need to have a conversation with your ex or your baby mama or whatever title she got. What's going on with this shit he got going on? Why is he talking about watch these girl cartoons and looking at certain things and talking to certain? Why is he moving like this? See, now as parents, we got to come together. Now you're gonna be an uphill battle if your ex is okay with that bullshit. Now you're in a fight by yourself. Unfortunately, it is what it is. But it's got to be addressed as soon as we see questionable things. I don't care if they're not your goddamn son or no kin to you. I say, hey, man, ain't how a young man should act. Why can't it be addressed? That's what happens back in the days when we see certain things, man. Unfortunately, we some punk ass parents and we not taking care of our business. We not doing like we used to do. We not shaming these motherfuckers. We not making them feel bad. We making excuses for them. We passing laws for them. We doing everything else but addressing the real issue.
Can I add this to the conversation, Hemp?
It's okay.
What do you think about this?
Let me go like this, right? Just make sure. Strata, I know Illa want to get in. I know Freezy unmuted a little while ago. So go ahead.
What do you think about this, Hemp? That the impact of black fathers is still TBD. What I mean by that is, I think black fathers have re-entered the home, but our children and our youth, they're still knee babies and they're still coming up. I still think we need maybe a runway about maybe 10 years. So like, let's say Mr. Fantastic's children, you got babies, I got a little one, like all of us up here, the men that are involved, we had to recorrect and redirect, right? So I think before we can even gauge where we are with black man influence, we have to put a TBD because we're course correcting right now. So you really won't be able to see the influence until your kid becomes of age. Let's see what it looks like when your kid is a teenager. You feel me? Like we're stepping back. So that's why I say, what do you think about a TBD? Because we're back now. You feel me?
You're saying that the impact can't quite be measured just yet.
Right.
Because the fathers that are actually involved, their kids are still rather young, right? So we can't properly gauge it because we don't have a big enough sample size.
Right.
I like it. Illa, go ahead.
I like Trotter, man. Like word is born. That was official, bro. I want to add on to that. Because I want to respond to Let Go. I want to respond to something that he said, not to go against y'all, just add on to a lot of stuff. Real quick, Let Go, you was talking about the social media. You're right. And I think the problem is we lost a lot of social rights and passions when these kids just been in the house all day. Like a lot of stuff we learned from just, like you said earlier, just being outside, just being around each other. Like that's where we learned a lot of nuance of social interaction by dealing with, circumstances socially, you know what I mean? Even though like just fighting, falling, getting down, knowing how to snap back, knowing how to dress, just knowing how to acclimate yourself and find yourself in real time, in reality. That was taken away from kids. So that I want to add to that. But hey, when you were talking about the fathers is going, I think it's more so basically the same thing I was saying to Let Go. Like basically it's just they don't have any social interaction. And this is why I want to say what you said. What you're talking about is true, but I think it speaks to improper mate choosing. Because if you had a point when you with your wife at year 5, year 7, and this is when you find out she don't have a problem, she has a problem with you trying to make your son masculine, that speaks to a deeper issue. How well do you know this person? What do y'all talk about values? A lot of us don't really have proper courting. It's just she's cute, she thinks I'm attractive, I have a decent job, she has a decent job, my credit's pretty good, her credit's pretty good, her family's okay, all right, it's okay, the sex is cool, let's do this thing. And that's not really how you become in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? You really gotta be a friend. Like I don't know what I don't want to drift off, but people are not. You have to be friends with your woman, man. Y'all gotta be cool. Y'all gotta be a homie. They gonna be friends with this woman. That's their fucking business partner, or just she fulfilling a role. You know what I'm saying? A societal wife, a societal husband. You don't know this motherfucker because there's no way you're supposed to find out your woman feel that adamantly about that something that serious. Once the kid is 5 and 6, it's like what are y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? But to ultimately close it with Strata, brother, that was an excellent point, and this also speaks to the bigger picture with our people. We, like you said, we don't know the impact of our what we've done with our children yet. So if we take that same psychology back to our people and back to the things we went through, You have to wait and see how much we've done or how much we've grown. Like we're still in the space where we're still directly from all the we're only about 50, 60 years removed from all the major events plus sporadic shit, but all the real major events that totally shaped the foundation of Black society. You think you're going to figure that out in 30 years, 40 years? Like, things have to play themselves out. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're in the midst of the aftermath. And it's just like people want the aftermath to be faster than the attack. Like, how the hell something that took, let's just say, and I'm being generous, let's just say something that happened for 500 years, and I'm just being small. How you think you're going to recover from that in 50 years, in 40 years, in 30 years with less money? We gotta let things play out. So excellent point by Strata, and let go and hit. You know what I'm saying? That was dope.
Yo, that's interesting. And 2K was up here. He was saying, you know, we talk about the violence and all that from Black people, right? He was illustrating a point that gangs in New York lasted a long time. They was out here wilding for a long time, trying to get it right for a long time, you know? And so now Black people are still, he was just making a point, like, still normalizing, right? You got to almost let the shit play out. You know, just got right 60, 70, you know, in the 60s and 70s, voting and the whole 9 yards to get an opportunity. Redlining stopped in technically 1968. But, you know, even though they say no more redlining, it'll probably take 10 years for it to get out of the system. You know what I'm saying? Just a whole lot of things kind of, when you really start processing it, like how long have Black people had an opportunity?
Can I say something real quick? Hey,
that's it. And then we get Freezy after that.
Okay, yeah, just not to cut your wisdom. I was talking on a panel today. A lot of us, we got to get the crack out of our system, but a lot of us got to remember, in our generation, think about it. A lot of us, in our people in our generation, ain't really start drinking water that much till they got in their 20s. Water was a punishment drink. You ain't getting juice, you getting water. That wasn't even, you got a generation of people who went years without letting water be in their main beverage. Like we got to give our people a break, not excuse, but hold up, we got some shit to get through. But I digress.
No, that's interesting.
That's real.
That's interesting.
Water wasn't the thing.
It was
shit
like
water. What?
No, real shit. Niggas used to do sugar water, nigga. Straight.
Yup.
Straight.
Water was a punishment, man.
Real shit. And syrup sandwiches, man. Freezy, what up, though?
Yeah, y'all making me reminisce. I want to ask you, on that clip you played, was that A$AP Rocky about to kiss a white boy or something? Was that?
Nah, that's a girl, but I think she's like a non-binary or something.
Oh,
you know her. You ever seen this movie Jawbreaker? Do y'all remember that movie? Watch it when you get a chance. It's an interesting movie, but essentially this guy is like a pedophile, and then she get him and like chain him up. He end up jumping off the building. Y'all know The Conjuring?
Yeah.
The dude who playing The Conjuring, he's like the pedophile in the show and shit. So her name is, I can't remember her name, but now she identifies like non-binary or some shit, but it's a girl though. But that's why it looks so crazy that he would even do that, because most people think it's a nigga.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But along the lines of what Mr. Let Go said as far as social media, that's a common issue that a lot of people name as far as why we see the dysfunction, especially in the Black community, right? But I think as men, you know, we're here to assess situations for now and for the future. We know social media is here and it's here to stay. Social media ain't going nowhere. So as men, we got to be prepared for that, right? And also, I just want to say this too. Everything on social media, in my humble opinion, is not bad, right? Social media ain't all it's not all bad. There are a lot of constructive outlets on social media that could fine tune a person's life. I think what we truly need, as far as, especially with kids and women and ignorant men, is just needs to be more guidance, right? There needs to be more guidance, and there needs to be more of a respect level when it comes to somebody who is here to offer that guidance. Nobody respect nobody. Don't nobody respect nobody, man. Everybody want to be the man. Everybody want to be the woman. Everybody want to be the shit. There's no order in this. The order has gone out the window. You mentioned the gangs in New York. I think even with those gangs in New York, they still had somewhat of a family structure still intact, right? With the fathers and stuff, they're going to work. These dudes was gangsters. They was going to the steel mill. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that we need more. The men, it's all contingent upon the men. I know, you know, we always been having these conversations for a long time as far as you know, how women have thrown a lot of stuff out of socket, you know, the single mom syndrome and all that kind of stuff. Men got to get it. We got to get it together. It's on us, man. I'm telling you. You know, you don't have to have sex with that woman with the big ass and the titties and whatever. You know, but when we say that, that's another man would say Freezy is dick policing. I'm not trying to dick police. I'm trying to show you. I'm trying to show you how to live a better quality life. We got to be able to listen to reason and how to listen to something that's going to actually improve your life and not say, oh, you know, you dick policing. Nah.
That's the segue.
That's the point. That's real.
That's the segue.